All right,
All right,
6:30.
I'll shut up.
Start the meeting.
Recording in progress.
Any need for executive session this evening?
Yes, there is.
And that would be,
That would be in accordance with VSA.
well, just legal, personnel, or contracts?
Legal personnel contracts.
All three?
Yep.
Okay, one, two,
Okay.
three.
All right, and I have one for personnel. Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
Move to accept agenda as amended.
Or
Second.
no, to go into executive?
Or go to exec, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right. I've been here for
Executive
a couple-
session.
It has been, it's been a while.
I know what
So-
you meant, that's why I seconded it.
You seconded
Yeah,
it?
yeah, you know what I mean.
I know
All in
what you
favor,
meant.
say aye.
Aye.
Any need to amend the agenda? I think we have quite a few things, actually. So I think, I know you have in your town report sidewalks and West Creek culvert, but we should add that to the agenda because those are bigger discussion items at this point. And then landscaping. Anybody else have anything to add?
The items that I put before you when you first came in, those were informational. The ARPA information and all that.
Okay, thanks.
All right, now move to accept agenda as amended.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anything on the meeting minutes of July 20th? See anything? No? Okay.
Move to accept.
All right.
I'll pass it down.
We know.
We don't, not anymore.
I guess not.
All right, anything on the orders? You got more office chairs? Office chairs?
Office chairs, yeah.
Table and mirror?
The mirrors are security mirrors for the hallway.
Okay,
The chairs are from my office because I had to put two into Ann's office. She didn't have any.
okay. And what was the table?
It's just in the middle of the two chairs. It's
Oh.
a small table.
Okay.
Excuse me.
On the 550, there was a tie rod and batteries for $2,300.
Which order?
Kinda high.
That seems a little high to me, doesn't
I
it?
don't know. Seems kinda.
Tie rod and batteries, yeah.
That's a note. Maybe there's something else, and that's all they have room to note. That's what I wanted to ask.
Can you give me the invoice, the top number of the page you're looking at?
Let me find it.
Because there's like several of
That
them
was
this week.
under, Earls. So the vet, you want, not the vendor, you want 32025, 228184 on 7/28.
$32.05?
32025 is the invoice number.
Oh, no, okay.
Is that 220184?
Yeah.
Hold hold on.
2281.84. 728.
Not even finding that amount. I'm wondering if it was combined with another invoice to make it a different amount, because I'm not finding a, on the sheet here.
That's the only one
20.
from Earl's. Only one from Earl's that's on here.
If you did a tie rod, you could have an alignment too,
Yeah.
but still it shouldn't be
It's- it should be
$2,000.
That's $2,300.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering if there's something else.
Well,
in it.
that's, all right, so when I'm looking at these sheets, these are the purchase amounts,
You probably wouldn't, I would.
Yeah.
and what I'm wondering is if it's combined with something else. That's why I'm not finding the dollar amount you're talking about. It's Earl's?
Earl's
Okay.
truck repair.
Here it is.
Got
I
it?
found it now.
Okay.
Doesn't Chad usually goes over those invoices too,
So
doesn't
the
he?
labor alone was $11.90,
Man.
and the parts were $1,076.84.
What,
Sure?
yeah, what were the parts?
There's a list right here.
Oh, they did ball joints, they did a U-joint, they did
Oh,
axle
alright.
seal, they did a tie run, they did a fuse box cover, a
Okay.
heater assembly, battery, drive shaft bolts, turbo oil, feed line connectors. There was a little more here than just that. Now it makes a little more sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Usually Chad, every department normally goes over all those bills and signs
Yeah.
off on them, so.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I know, it's just hard when we
It's
only
hard,
see
yeah,
like
if
a
you don't-
really
yeah.
abbreviated,
That's why we
you
need to
know.
look
No, I understand.
So my next two, Brenda, are,
Yeah.
we have police ammo for $873, and we have new police gun magazines for $300.
There's the ammo. And what was the other company?
MMA guns,
Okay,
new magazines.
all right.
I guess I understand the ammo, because probably there has to be some.
That's for the. that's
Shooting
for-
done.
That's over at the.
But
academy.
why do we need new magazines? Those are-
Here's the MMA.
Can't believe we wore them out. AR-15 mags,
What do we?
How many did they get?
20.
What?
20 of them?
No, we don't need 20.
That's great.
20 at 15 each.
No, price is right.
Yeah, the price is right, but we don't, what do we need 20 AR mags for?
We'll have to ask your police chief.
I think we will.
Hmm?
Okay.
And then the hydraulics study from Otter Creek, didn't we just had, what we just paid? How many, like, was it broken up into payments?
It was.
Okay,
That should be the last one. That's
right.
my understanding.
okay. All right, does anybody else have anything on the orders? No. All right, town manager's report?
I'm gonna start passing these down because it's quite a few.
Would like some answers on the police.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you reaching out or you want me to?
I'm gonna let you do that.
Oh, here's the payroll.
Okay.
This one is last. I'll explain it before I pass it, so it doesn't get mixed up. So, the first topic is the West Creek culvert.
Well, we put it on the agenda, so we can wait.
Oh, you want to wait?
Yeah, I put it on, we just put it on the agenda.
All right.
That and the sidewalks.
So, old ordinances and enforcement. I got together with Jeff and was reviewing what we have currently for ordinances. And he was helpful in giving me some information and background on it. So before we start getting involved with updates to it, I'm gonna get it put together so that you have it ahead of time before a meeting. It's too lengthy to kind of just throw at you at a meeting and say, hey, let's revise these. So something I'll prepare and then I'll send it to you. The lighting at the Dollar General, I think, is okay now. I've seen it at night. I think it's appropriate at this point. I haven't had anyone reach out to me saying that they were unhappy. There was a question about the lawn maintenance brought to my attention and why there was a section that's not being mowed. And I did find out, according to the plans, it's wetlands,
Okay.
so we can't touch it. Or they're not to touch it. It was part of the,
Been mowed for years.
it's in the original plan.
Oh, God.
Heating and cooling solutions, after going through at least 3 or 4 different companies, I think the best bet is to just stick with who we have and have them do upgrades. I think it's the most cost effective. The Cdbg grant award, I did attend that on the 20th, a meeting with those folks. I'm signed up now through the website to begin the process of getting going with that. One of the processes that they have is that you guys have to agree to this policy, which that's why I left it separate.
Okay.
So you just have to basically, you don't have to sign it right this minute if you don't want to. If you want to take time to review it, you
Yeah, I'd
can.
rather read it, yeah.
It's basically just agreeing to their guidelines for doing this loan. There's several other steps that they're requiring me to do. One is that you guys have to have a finance policy in place here, of how you conduct your finances. I can't find anything like that right now here. You have like a basic 1 page on how you pay bills and that sort of thing, but there's really no true policy. So I'm trying to put one together based on my prior policies that I've drafted for finance. I can't move forward with this grant until these 3 major points are done. This being one, the finance policy being the other, and then a regular policy for the town, which you do have.
So this is that grant that the Village Farm got that we're having to do the work on?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna read it.
yeah.
Yeah, we weren't
Yeah,
supposed
we
to have
need
to
a
do
copy.
any of this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to read
Why
it.
are we involved with the Village Farm? That's what question
Yeah,
comes
really.
to my mind.
It was just a sign off on the grant to help them. I mean, it's a grant they got.
Yeah, but we ended up doing the work.
Remember, we approved them 3 times.
Right, but it
So
sounds
this
like
wasn't a new thing.
we have to change all our business practices to accommodate this, maybe? Am I
Well,
wrong?
honestly, it's good. It is good that you have a finance policy, so it's not going to go to waste. It would be nice for you to have that anyway. But it just kind of puts me behind the 8 ball right now with other things that I'm trying to do to stop and make sure I get that done. I wasn't anticipating that, so I had like a pecking list of what I thought you folks wanted me to do, and now it's kind of like I'm veering off and.
So it appears there was quite a bit of tag on this that we were unaware of, right?
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be, they were supposed to have some guy that was
doing
gonna
their
be paid through the grant
paperwork.
money to do the administering of the,
Not us.
But even if you pay
Right.
the grant administrator, we still have to have we still are the pass-through. So we have to open up another bank account.
No, okay, so before we do any more of this, they need to come in and explain why we're having to do this. We were told, when we signed on to this grant, that we were just signing
signing.
on to it, and they were gonna do all the work. So before we do any work, this is just my opinion, they come in and explain to us why we're having to do this.
Okay.
no, I agree.
I don't know what
You
everybody
I-
else thinks, but this was not part of the deal.
We had this discussion before, and Butch enlightened us a little bit as we went. We asked about having it, if we could charge for the time that we have to put in on this now, and Butch said we can't do that. So,
We're stuck.
I'm not very happy with the town having to pay
Well,
extra
we're
for
not stuck
doing this.
because
It's not right.
it hasn't gone through yet, because we don't have a finance policy apparently.
You guys know the profits if they're gathering from their concert series like Bread and Puppet. Maybe they'd like to reimburse the town for,
I think you should have them come in front. I think
Yeah,
I think
they
we need
just-
to come
yeah,
here
they
and
just
explain
need
this
to-
to us, because that is not the bill of goods we were sold.
Could we get all?
I'm
get a
not
copy
saying
of
we
that,
shouldn't be
please?
doing it.
So we
I
can-
just wanna know
sure.
why
Yeah,
we are having to do something we were told we didn't have to do.
And I think we should all read this
oh,
all the
absolutely.
way through before we.
You should never
Yeah.
sign anything without reading it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe we reach out to them and see if they want to come, get put on the agenda for next
Next
meeting.
agenda.
Next meeting, yep.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Who came and presented? That was
Donna.
Donna. Donna Wilson, wasn't it?
Donna's been here, I think.
2 or 3
like,
times.
The first one's, I think Baird may have been here. I mean,
Yep.
it's been,
Mostly
it's
her
just been
though.
like 3 times
Yeah.
we've done this.
Yep.
And every time it's like, no, you're just have to sign
We need
this,
to
that
go
it
through
goes
it,
through
so,
you.
yeah. We do all the work
Yeah.
and
They do all the work. So this is not what I signed on for.
No,
I don't know about anybody else.
Next thing you know, we'll be paying their bills with tax dollars.
Well, I
not while I'm
don't think
sitting
that's
here.
gonna
we
happen.
won't.
no, we won't. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
they're tax exempt, aren't they?
yeah,
They're a 501c3,
they are, yeah.
They are.
charging money for concerts.
Yeah.
So you guys should be billing them for your time that you're doing their legal work.
Let's just get them in front of us.
Yeah, let's just,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I hope I'm
Alright.
here to see that meeting, Mark.
I'd like you to come.
I absolutely, you know I would not miss that one. I'm such a fan of the Pittsford Village Farm. Major fan. Gee,
All right.
I wish West Creek Road had a farm that was tax exempt.
So, are we done? Because I have a question.
No, well, I don't, about this, or?
Well, because I have a question for, if she's done with
I
going through her
wasn't
stuff.
yet, but I'm almost done.
Okay, as soon as you finish, okay.
This, I just wanted to just reiterate that the summer newsletter's out. It was Ann's first one. She took a lot of time with it. I was really pleased with the way it came out. I think it looks really nice and it's really informative. It's packed with a lot of information. I've been working with Public Works on trying to spruce up the area here, the grounds. We had the sign fall off. Our Pittsford municipal sign out front fell off.
Fell over.
So we had it, I had them get a piece of steel to put up against the brick instead of wood, so that it wouldn't rot again. So they got on it right away. I did put before you guys the ARPA information. This is the most recent, and it has in it. It's pretty good. This is a good informative one because it does kind of give you some ideas about how to spend the ARPA funds. And it also goes into explain how you can pair it up with other funding now. They're allowing you to do that.
Oh.
So if you want to, say, use some of it for a sidewalk, and then you want to get a grant or something in the next year, because I can't get one this year, it's an option. There's a lot of information in here. I would advise you maybe to take a look. Then I was going to tell everybody about the registration for the Vermont League of Cities and Towns. It's open now for the October 6th and 7th Town Fair up in Killington. I'm only going to go on Friday. I went through all the topics, and the 6th, the Thursday, doesn't really look like it would be, I don't want to waste time and money going to something that I don't really need to see, but Friday's a good one. It has a lot of good sessions. Grandpa's Knob, that wind project, it's officially done. They backed out. So they're not doing that anymore.
Yahoo.
They sent out a notice.
Thank goodness.
Okay, I'll give you a copy of that too. These are the 3 things that they required for that money. I also had a question for the board. I wanted to know, do you want me to pursue a grant for the regional communication and dispatch? Are you guys interested in hosting that here?
Chief Dumas had reached out to me. There is a coalition of people to write the grant together.
Mm-hmm.
so Pittsford wouldn't be doing it specifically, is my
Okay,
understanding.
but do you want to be involved with it at all, or no?
Well, no, I am.
We can't. Oh, you are.
So, yeah,
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wasn't aware of that. That's it.
okay.
Thank you.
Going back to the ordinances, are these ordinances that are being written by the planning commission, or is this something Jeff is taking on?
No, he's
This
not
one?
taking it on. He was just helping me get a better understanding. Some of the ordinances that have been written are so old that we've actually lost money when they've gone to court with fines. And like, I'll give you an example. The police went to court with, it was like a $5,000 fine. And because the judge couldn't find in our ordinances, which they took the time to do, where we had specifically stated this particular violation, they threw it out. And we literally lost $5,000. And
Was that on weights?
yeah,
Yeah, so we need, this is
We need
about,
to-
we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Oh,
weights need to be upgraded.
yeah.
oh, okay.
And
All right, I
that's,
didn't-
that's the only ordinances we're talking about, are weights.
And there are
And
some others too, like, there's some others.
I don't recall those, what were
I
those?
know, I thought we just talked.
I haven't given them to you yet. I was gonna send them out.
Well, then we probably need to look at those, but all
Right.
I knew was weights, and that's all that was brought
There's
up
quite
before.
a few that are very old, and I'd hate to see us not be able to enforce rules if you don't have the right ordinance to back it
Well, I
up.
think we probably should take a look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Send us the rest of them, from what
Okay.
else is involved there.
All right.
And then, did you ever get cost estimates for the bridge cameras?
No,
Okay,
I didn't, not yet.
all right, and then the, speed carts?
Oh, the signs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we talked
The
about
ones, the
getting.
permanent ones?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked, well, both the permanent ones and moved ones, I guess.
So the permanent ones, I have all the information from the state on that, and it's gonna be a process because I have to get permission.
Mhm.
Because if we wanna put them on Route 7, I
Yeah.
need permission. So it's gonna be a process, but I did reach out and I do have contacts
Okay.
to start that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, so we were following.
So we
up
buy
with
those
whole
through the
speeding
state?
issues.
Hmm?
We buy those through the state, or we buy them from an independent?
Because if they go on
It's-
Route 7, we have
That
to.
goes-
We have to go through them
We have
for
to buy
those.
those through the state?
If we want them in other roads or other locations, that would be a different process.
Okay, so that would have to be purchased.
See, the ones,
through the
if we put them on state roads, these permanent ones have the ability, and I think even the ones in the cart, have the ability to give you different messages on there as well, but they don't allow it if it's on the state road. You can only do it on the town road.
Oh, I don't know. The one in Brandon, they've got messages.
Yeah, what does it say?
Brandon.
Oh, one
controls the
says,
road.
Slow down.
like, too fast and slow down.
Thank you.
And it's like, I don't like being ordered, so I go faster.
Dave, that's a town road, it's not state road.
Oh, that's right, they own
Oh,
their,
that's
they
right,
own their
Brandon does
section of
own that,
7.
okay.
That's different, yeah.
That's right, they do, I
Yeah.
forgot
Town
that.
road.
Excellent point, Mr. Hooker.
Yep.
I'm up
One-
on some of these things.
The one coming from Pittsford going into Brandon should have been at the top of the hill, not the bottom.
All right,
That was a.
That's
The pricing will come from the
What a
state
grant.
after we get through the process. Okay.
Okay.
All right, is that all? Do we have any select board member remarks this evening? No? Okay, any public comment? You're all on the agenda, right? So,
So may I?
is it about sidewalks? I'll put you first then.
No, it's about
Oh.
weights. It's about weights.
Oh, okay.
I think we talked a little bit about the last time I was here, in this year's transportation bill. There is a provision for protection of covered bridges. Okay, and the agency is now working on a sign package to put up ahead of your covered bridges, so that you can enforce your ordinance
Okay,
for fines of up to $2,000 and other things. There's some specific signing they're working on. I think it involves like 3 signs each approach. And then with these signs, you can enforce your ordinance, and it's a state law, and you can also recover damages. You really don't have any vehicle right now to recover damages for damage for covered bridge. So with the passage of this law, you'll have that vehicle if it's signed properly. The other piece that I've been beginning to notice, and I noticed that I got called in on a bridge over in West Rutland. They have a bridge that's a 16,000-pound bridge on a 24,000-pound road. Pittsford has a 16,000-pound bridge on a 24,000-pound road.
Yeah.
So I've talked to the agency to try to understand how that works. And they were as perplexed as I was when I brought that to their attention. And I don't think it's unusual. I think it's fairly usual, especially in communities like ours, with a lot of covered bridges. As a matter of fact, Elm Street's a 16,000-pound road with a 16,000-pound bridge. So there's a kind of a, what do you do with a waylaid tractor trailer that goes down depot, or any truck that goes down depot at 24,000 pounds and comes to a 16,000-pound bridge? Are they in violation crossing that bridge? I
Well,
suspect they are.
They are.
Well, if they cross the bridge, but the other part is, like, for that road, you've got coming in and out of the dump, those
Yeah.
trucks are weighing way more than that.
Well, yeah, but
And they're
you
only
can-
using that short
But they're
section, though.
one-way trips. They're delivery, there is law for that.
Oh, there is,
If you're an
okay.
overweight truck on a road for delivery or pickup, that's legal.
Yeah.
So that's a question that I have put before the agency, and I haven't received response. I suspect it'll take some legislation to tie all those things together.
So Butch, the state is gonna regulate 3 signs each side of the bridge before
May
it
or may
comes in?
not, but
Okay, I was
it's gonna
say,
need
I
to
think
say,
one's enough.
it's gonna need to say the weight limit of the bridge, the speed limit on the bridge, and turnaround. You may get a turnaround here sign. You may have to provide a provision for trucks to turn around if they get on that road. So let's take Depot Hill. They could turn around at the dump, okay? And they could turn around at the intersection of West Creek. before
Or
even
they
get
can
on
back
the
up a long ways.
Or they can back up a long ways.
Which
We
most
don't,
of
we
them
don't know
can't- most of them
exactly.
can't
What
back
what
up,
the
so-
what the legislation requires is weight limits.
Yeah, I think
Height
that's
limits.
logical,
Weight
but I
and
don't,
height, yeah.
3 signs on each
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
you'll see the fields.
Well, it depends on if you want to protect your bridge, that's what it's gonna be. If you don't, you don't. It's as simple as that. I mean, we've got bridges Linden instituted an ordinance with a fine of hitting a covered bridge is $10,000 first offense, which is fairly illegal, but, which is unenforceable. So this fining that we're doing now is now a statewide issue, and it's the same fine for getting stuck in the notch now. It's $2,000, first offense. Subsequent offenses go up from there.
All right.
Do you have a question?
No, I have one small comment in
Yeah.
regard to what you're saying, and one of the only companies that we see go by 224 West Creek Road is Swift, and me and my father, we already got in contact with AMIA and the Director of Transportation, so that they try to get Swift to change that direction. I actually jumped in the truck and helped the guy turn around 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And the gentleman was in tears. I mean, he was maybe between the ages of, I don't know, 21
I even
and
got there.
25, I don't know. And he was crying because he didn't know how to get out of the situation that he was in. And so I jumped in the truck and
Turn them around.
turned him around and got him sent back and told him
boy.
how to get to AMIA.
Yeah.
But that is one specific company, and it is just Swift that's coming through the Proctor Way and going that. But I think we already got that handled.
I just,
I don't
I
know it.
So-
want to add to
so-
that too. I also found out that it was Swift.
You did as well?
I did, and
At
I
one
called
point in
on.
time,
You
you
called
guys
as
were
well?
trying
I
to
did.
legislate the right GPSs in trucks, whatever happened to that?
Still in play.
Still in play.
Well,
It's a
Because that's most of this,
It's a
is they've
conversation
got
with,
a car
it's a conversation with
GPS.
DMV to make sure that the technology is available, or legal technology.
He told me
available.
that it wasn't the GPS,
So-
and he told me that it was automated guidance that Swift, the company, gave to him.
I would be.
And I'm very familiar with transportation and all that, and I understood what he was saying to me. And he's just saying, I don't have a choice, the company is making me do this.
Drive these, well,
And he's not just looking at the GPS, and he's just an innocent
No,
driver's an
No, he's
innocent.
not. He's
Well,
not innocent. He's on a
not quite.
24,000-pound road, and he came through the town of Proctor.
Yeah,
I
and it's
know.
all signed.
And I was at a town of Proctor meeting, select board meeting a week ago, Monday night, and they were pointing out that Swift is beginning to use the local streets in the town of Proctor now.
well,
But the
So-
corporate office
And-
is making
Is the
this
one that's
poor
making
guy
it right.
do that.
it really
That's
is
all.
Swift too. Because for a long time, West Creek Road had tons of traffic that was going to Amia, that was coming from other places. They weren't necessarily Swift, they were people that were following with GPS when they crossed the bridge, people would tell them how to get back. Trucks that I see going down now are just Swift.
So I've made the offer to the town manager and West Rutland and in Proctor, and I haven't talked to the town manager in Pittsford, but I'm sure she'll accept the 3 town managers to sit down with management from AMIA and have a meeting outside of the community concern group so that they can explain to you exactly
What's going on.
what they're doing and what's going on. My advice to anybody, if you see a lost truck, is call the plant or call here and see if there's an officer on duty. I was coming out of the plant Friday afternoon. A truck came out West Creek Road, not West Creek Road, Whipple Hollow Road. And Chief Warfel was sitting there in Dido's yard
Bagged them.
Yeah.
and bagged him.
Yeah. Oh, Mike get it right on him.
Yeah.
He knows it.
So they're, that's enough of that.
I know. him at work.
Yeah.
Well, no, I presume there's a truck stuck right now up on High Pond, because
Oh, yeah?
before I got, well, probably an hour before I got ready to come here, I saw a truck go by, headed that way, and as I was pulling onto the truck route, a big wrecker was headed down my road.
Yeah, he-
So I presume they got up in there and got hung up.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure.
He was at Dido's this afternoon. Bruno's where it was.
Yeah, I don't think this was
Was it white?
Bruno's.
Was it white?
It's
Doesn't
one-
matter.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, so, but they go up there and they try to, it sends them up over High Pond,
They're not gonna make it.
and you
Yeah.
don't fit.
Yeah.
All right, you wanna, do you
I've
wanna,
stirred that pot enough.
you wanna keep talking and we'll
Good.
get onto the sidewalk
Let's
part
go
of the
there.
agenda? Or do
Yeah.
you want a break?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Once he gets going, you can't get him up.
All right, so what did you find out about?
So I was asked by the town manager and others to check with AOT to determine if the town could repair the sidewalks, spending town dollars to maybe put a shim coat on some of the sidewalks that are really, really bad today with just asphalt. And I checked with the chief engineer from AOT, and her response to me was yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The town's responsible for the sidewalks, and if you would like to go ahead and do that work to your specification with your money, which is different than the grant. The grant
Right.
had state money in it, so there was
There
a whole
was
entirely.
strings with that.
Whole entirely
Strings,
different
right.
set of engineering specs.
Yep.
So if you would like to do that with your money from a fund from somewhere, to go ahead, but do it safely, and I can translate do it safely for you, but I won't do it here.
I think Alicia and I kind of started this little bit of a thing, seeing that they're going through paving, and our sidewalks are deplorable. I mean, some of them, you can't even walk on them, they're so bad. And it's bad for winter maintenance, they can't plow them, the snow blow them, they're throwing stuff all over the place. So some of them do need some attention.
Yeah.
And whether we use ARPA money, or whether we use some of the highway money somewhere out of the paving, but we
Yep.
need to come up with some kind of a plan, I think, and do it while they're doing paving.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I know before we talked by the school, that
Right.
section.
And there's one part
And-
that's even worse now. 'Cause
Well, and, yeah, and, in Proctor, because I know I looked into that, and forget what it wasn't construed, but anyway, it's basically an asphalt curb.
Yep.
They've got those in Proctor,
They
and
do.
they aren't getting torn up.
No, they're not.
So and that was fairly reasonable to put in for a curb
Right.
along Route 7 there.
Yep.
Just put that right along in, and at least there's a
yeah.
difference between the
Most-
road and the sidewalk.
Most of the other sidewalks, that's not a problem.
It's not a
because
problem 'cause you're not on the road.
They're not on the road,
Yeah.
so. just
So I
that
think there's,
Short stretch.
if we can do that, I think there's things we can do to
think
make
so.
that safer.
Well, I did get an estimate,
Oh, good.
81,000
Oh, you
Oh,
did?
that's right, yeah.
To do-
Yeah,
that's-
that's right.
All of our
Yeah.
sidewalks, or?
Yeah.
from right around the church up to the center, to the green,
Yeah.
Route
The
7.
whole Route 7 in the
Yeah,
village,
basically, the whole village.
basically the whole village.
Oh, the whole,
From church.
well, all the
way
old,
through,
all the old sidewalks.
All the old
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
The old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the old sidewalks that haven't been touched since I was a kid, even before, I
That
think.
includes
Oh,
the
no.
labor. If you just bought the blacktop, it would be obviously cheaper, but that's
But and-
including the labor to
That
do
And
it.
includes-
that doesn't
labor?
include any curbing though, correct?
Probably
No.
not.
No curbing.
No.
No, but that curbing wasn't that expensive.
Okay.
That
It's just a.
It wasn't construed, I can't think of.
They
it.
roll it somehow. is the thing.
Extruded, yes,
Extruded.
extruded,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I
Yep,
don't know that word.
Yep,
yep.
extruded.
Because you got a few hundred feet there, you'd need that.
Yep. to
Could
raise
we
it
get a
up.
finalize on that price for doing that, so at least we could
I know, 'cause if
Curbing,
we're gonna
I mean?
move ahead, we gotta do
Yeah.
it
We gotta-
soon.
we gotta-
Right,
move
yeah.
Yeah.
So the extruded curbing
That would just be an addition.
along the
to-
section from the school, well, to where there actually is a curb,
Okay.
across from the cow store there.
I think we could decide later where you wanna take the money from, because at one point, we were gonna take, what, 50,000 was gonna be our share, was it 25 from highway and 25 from the village? Was that the deal we had?
I think so.
Something like that? You remember
Well, we
that?
tried to get Burdett funds.
You wanna try
Well,
that?
that,
was
yeah,
the other
forget
one. That was the other
that.
fifty.
That- That's another whole
That was
game.
a whole
That's
nother
another
thing.
whole-
Do you wanna
yeah.
try that again, though?
Well,
to
no,
see
no,
if they'll-
no.
Let's
No.
go down that
Let's get
road.
our estimate
Yeah,
first.
Yeah,
and
then we'll
let's-
figure out where we're
Alright.
gonna get
Let's
our money
act, what
from.
we need to act on,
Okay.
yeah, before we.
Well, if and when the state fixes Route 7 through the village, they're gonna put a whole new sidewalk in anyway, ain't
Well,
they?
this board has asked, or the board has asked for sidewalks both sides of the road, full length of the village,
Full length, yeah.
Full length, yeah.
new sidewalks.
So is it wise for us to go put new sidewalks in
They're
It's
not
what-
gonna redo
as
that.
a town?
They just-
When the state's gonna
Well,
come along and rip it out?
I'll-
Is that
I'll-
is that a
I'll-
good decision?
I'll say this, the state in our infinite wisdom has decided that it was worth $1.8 million to true up Route 7 so somebody doesn't get hurt on it
Yeah.
between now and construction. It's a good
It's a
investment.
safety issue.
Yeah.
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 So they invested, and we hope that they'll be tearing up another section of Route 7 next spring.
So,
That would
yeah.
be, I think, personally.
You won't go see the village torn up for many, many years.
I know, now that they just redid the
Now they
road.
redid it, 10
Now they just
years.
redid
Oh,
the
hell.
road.
We better-
Anyway.
We probably should do it now.
Go ahead.
Joe, you and I will be
Oh.
watching from the sidelines on that.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it gonna be asphalt sidewalks and not concrete or something else?
Oh,
But we're
big
trying to do it
expense.
most cost effective.
If it's gonna be ripped, yeah, but why not do it once, like, I agree.
No, because of the design, we'd have to go with a new design that they're going, that's
Oh,
impossible.
so it's gonna be a lot different than it is.
Oh,
like-
totally.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we just need to do
Totally
it the
different.
cheapest and safest way
Right.
right now, because eventually, maybe 10 years down the road, when the state does redo the section through the village, then they
Maybe
will
10
take care of the
years from now?
sidewalks, but there's no guarantee of that, especially since they
No.
just paved it, that I doubt it's gonna happen anytime
No.
soon.
Then we'll get the gold-plated marble ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Right
granite
now, we gotta
curb.
worry about,
Then you'll get.
they're in
the
bad shape
nice
right now.
ones.
Yeah.
They need to be addressed.
The curbs along the roadway, even on the side that I mowed, on the opposite side of the road of the Sunoco, they're all gone too, and more of them get plowed up every year.
I
on
know.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
I know.
Yeah.
there. There's no, you can't even see the curb hardly anymore
Yeah.
through there.
Paving
It's
project
bad.
took care of that
That's-
curb
yeah.
going up that hill.
What's left?
It did, you don't hit it anymore.
You don't hit it, that's right.
All right, great, so maybe we can have some numbers for next meeting and get this rolling.
Yep.
Is that gonna be too late? Well, they're gonna be doing paving for quite a while, right? They
Well,
still gonna
yeah.
be in,
Yeah.
in,
They're gonna be around
They
for a
do
while.
it.
okay, just
October,
wanted to make
yeah.
sure we weren't missing
No.
the.
We didn't miss the
all
boat,
hair.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, we got time.
Okay, landscaping.
So I guess along the outer side of the building here, there's a lot of mulch that has been put down over the years and stuff, and I talked to her, and we both agreed that it should be taken out. I don't know what your guys' judgment on is, but it should be taken out, put with, like, you can see what they use, 1.5" clean stone out front. You don't have to maintain that, helps around the building drain a lot better. Another thing is a lot of the bushes, it's overwhelming, you know, in here, especially with all the bushes and stuff. You're not letting any sunlight, you're not letting any air dry any corners of the building out. All those windowsills, I don't give them very long before they start rotting and stuff. Even if those bushes were just pulled out and moved back a couple feet, you know, in order to put that, and then new mulch put in. We've kind of discussed this a couple months ago. I don't know what everybody else's thought on it was. And then, like, around the trees, I removed mulch around them trees out there, if you look out the window. The problem with you remove those, the amount of mulch around there is they got all the shooter roots that come off them. So you're gonna have to put just as much mulch back down as I just took out of there. So it's kind of pointless to do that too. So we can go through in future and put in the contract that you gotta be able to take the mulch out you place down every year to keep that from happening. But there's, at this point, it's gonna be what it is around everywhere else
Okay.
around the property. And then I think that's it really that I gotta say about.
Okay. So for the immediate, do you have somebody working for you that would do just the weeding?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
Because that's been, yeah.
She was here, it's the same person that did it for Brad Key.
Oh, okay.
And it was the same person that's been doing it the whole time. She does her thing, she calls me when she needs to, and whatever.
Oh,
But she
'cause-
hasn't showed up, she hasn't been here in this,
Jim been here
I
for
was
a long
gonna say, because
time.
we did a lot of weeding
We did the
ourselves.
weeding last meeting. Her and I on our hands and knees out there.
So,
I wanted to figure out what, if it's all gonna get ripped out, why would I have her show up then?
Oh, because I don't know if we would do that.
Well, no, I think, I don't think we wanna rip those bushes out.
No.
If you wanna heavily trim them,
Heavily trim them right now.
I mean, they'll grow back. I mean, they'll be ugly for a year or so, but they'll grow back. If you
Yeah.
wanna
Well,
heavily
you
trim
trim
them.
that, like that bush out front there, you trim that thing, there's gonna be nothing left, there's gonna be no green left, you know? You can only take so much, and it's gotten to the point where it's so big.
Too big.
And yeah, it's gotten too big, really, for the location.
So maybe we need to put this in the, when we redo this contract, on how to handle that. I mean, that might be something we need to include in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good point that we need to do it at some point before we have any rotting or anything else, but.
Right, and that's kind of really, even if you look at the back of the building, all these bushes out here, it's too crowded, it's too close to the building, really. They need to be moved out. If they're gonna stay there, they need to be moved out a little bit, and something needs to be done there.
All right.
Would it be more logical, Grant, looking down the road to pull these out and put some new ones
That's
in
what I would
around?
do.
Rather than try to
Yeah.
replant an old.
Yeah, you
big
wanna
one?
It
replant
depends,
the
somebody said some of them were donated, I guess. So, this is just whatever you guys decide everybody wants to do, but if they were donated and some had special attachments to them, we could move them out, you know? Just take the excavator and
repurposed
pull 'em.
somewhere? I don't know.
I don't know, I would put new ones in and have somebody, but that's gonna also cost quite a
That's
bit
what
of
I
money.
know, I'm not.
Well, those
I'm
old
not-
bushes, you pull them up, you're gonna kill half of
Right,
them.
right,
be
they're
dead.
not gonna go back.
No.
All right, I think that's something we gotta,
Better off.
That's something we gotta start thinking of, but in the meantime, we would love to have the lady come and weed.
yeah, do your.
At least do the weeding around the bushes.
Yeah, because we
Right
aren't gonna
now.
move them this year.
Yeah.
Well, so when do we wanna decide on what's gonna happen? It's gotta happen before next spring. If we're gonna decide something, it can't happen in the middle of me trying to do work, you know what I mean? I don't know if we could plan a day where we can figure all this out before that happens, before at least next spring, even if it was just this fall, if we all sat down and, just kinda came up with a plan of how that's gonna go
Yeah.
and wrote up something. I think that would be a lot better, rather than when everybody's in the middle of it. Everybody's.
Well, I don't think we're gonna do anything in the middle of this. You know, we just wanna get.
No, I
it
mean,
right.
I personally,
Yeah, I mean, right,
I
yeah,
need
I'm
to,
No, no.
I need to go.
I didn't realize this was all an issue till just now,
I know,
so
I thought we were just talking about weeding tonight.
I,
Didn't know
uh,
anything about bushes.
need to look at them and, so I need some time.
Yeah.
So is it fair just to get the weeding started again and then
Yeah.
let us take a look?
Yes.
All right.
Then we'll
Figure out what we wanna do.
Awesome. Thank you.
It may be a good idea to pull out all them big old bushes and replant.
That's what I would do.
Maybe they might even, somebody might have a better idea as to what change maybe some of the plants, not put the same thing back.
Well, they've been there since 1985. What's that
Oh,
tell
they
you?
need to go.
Yeah.
Most of them.
All right.
All right, let's.
Thank you, Grant.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's move on to West Creek Culvert. Who wants to go? I know you'd like to say something.
Katie Kennedy, you guys all know me, and you know that I'm the morals of decorum. I really don't like to come to these meetings, and I really don't like to be a negative human. But the fact of the matter is, I'm watching the 9 families that live at our end of West Creek Road really carry a burden that the rest of the town is not carrying. And it started with us road not being paved for, as you know, we have the only dirt left. We've put up with bone jarring riding and wrecked mufflers and a lot of other stuff, and we've done it cheerfully. At a point where I now have to drive an extra hour a day and spend an extra $10 to $15 a day in gas to get to my job in Middlebury, watching what Kyle and the other farmers on our road, and you know Harvey Farms is very dear to my heart, those guys are getting charged a ton of money for extra pickup charges for their milk. They've got crops coming in, which is going to kill them to have to go around out of the way to get back to the farm because they can't get down West Creek Road. And it's generally cuts us off from services that the rest of the town has. And I'm sure Chief Hooker's going to jump right up, but we don't have access to our fire department. Our fire department. Not Proctor, not DiNardo, not West Rutland, our fire department. It also adds an extra amount of time for emergency services if we need them. And I just think that this was an ill-conceived deal. I'm not here to cast any kind of aspersion on Rick Reed or Chad, because I don't think it's all on them. Just want you guys to know that this is what's happening, and that the Champlain farm is losing about $150 a day in vegetable sales because people can't get down our road. Now, the real major bitch that I have, the sign on the dates was changed on Saturday morning from July 25th to August 1st to July 25th to September 1st. And no matter how you look at it, guys, that's just crap. So I'm not sure how you fix this. I guess that at this point I would ask that a big culvert be put in and filled with crushed stone, if for nothing other than to get Kyle in and out of crop season and then just pick it up later on. I'm not real concerned about the road not being paved, but I am real concerned about the financial burden that the farmers who are just too depressed to even come in and say anything are suffering through, and that's why I'm here. So now I want to know, what are you guys going to do about this?
Well, I mean, would you like me to talk about the
I'm right,
process?
I'm right here too. I
Let's
can
listen
talk
to the
for
guy
just a
behind me
second.
first.
I mean, I understand that this wasn't something that, you know, was exactly anybody's, you know, making a lot of exceptions to what's going on, if the box culvert would work or not. I agree with Kate, this is nothing upon Ricky Reed or anything like that. That's not the point. The point was, I have a hard time looking at the general plan of everything and understanding what exactly was going on. I mean, if the box culvert was going to work and if that was going to be fine, then I do agree with Kate. I saw the dates myself change magically from August 1st to September 1st for a finish date. That's whatever. That was within a day. I did see it with my own eyes. I don't know. I'd already been informed by Chad. I like Chad very much. Chad had told me that it was going to be 5 weeks, and he came down and had a very nice meeting with us. I understand that, and that was good. We had that warning. My problem is where there's the doubt around what exactly is happening. I can make adjustments. We can make adjustments with our business, and we can change things, and Garden Boys, we can move around, and I'm happy to do that. But I just really would like to know officially what the plan is and what is happening. And I mean, I am spending more money. We are spending more money. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I know right now we'll be losing $500 a week, and we just started. I mean, yeah. And I had a nice, important job that I left to do this, and here I am. And I'm trying to do it. And if you look back at the records, I know you don't know my name. My name is Ben Champlain. We owed at one time, I don't know, $55,000 in back taxes, and I did it. I paid it all back when my uncle died, and I did everything. I've been as honest as I can. I mean, I was paying sometimes $300 out of whack, and I didn't even have anything else to pay, and I paid it back. I sold my house in Proctor to pay it back. And here we are, now decided to use the land and try to do something. We've tried to do something, and we're doing it. But we didn't get any real notice about what was happening with the culvert or anything like that. And it's not, I don't even care about me or us. Garden Boys, write it off, doesn't matter. But I look at those guys next door. I've watched Kyle cry. Trying to figure out what's going on. I have. And he walks up to me and I tell him we're going to have a meeting, or we want to come. No.
Kyle's too embarrassed to come.
I understand that. I'm embarrassed too. I don't
But
wanna
we're
sit
here to stand
I would
for
never
Kyle.
be.
And there's other farmers in this room
Doesn't
besides
matter.
us that hear what we're saying. I
It's
know
not
you
a-
hear, Dave.
It's not a pity
and I know
party
you
either,
hear, Mark.
but it's just like, is there a plan for this
Yeah.
road, or what's going on? And if I can have a schedule so that I know what I can do, and then I can tell my friends what's going on, or the neighbors. I mean, if we look at it, they're probably the only they're the only big dairy farm left in this
Left.
town, is that true?
Yes.
I don't even know. That's true. And they're trying. I grew up with Kyle. All he ever wanted, he begged me to go up to Maine and start a farm. Way back when I used to milk cows on the farm I'm at. I mean, and he's doing it. I mean, I just, and then he told me how much money they're losing. They're, as far as going to looking at the milk people picking up his milk, they're charging, I don't know how much more. It's incredible. The grain is costing more to go around one way. They're gonna spend thousands and thousands of dollars in diesel to go around, and they're using our property to go through that, which is A-okay, all fine and well.
But it
But
doesn't
it's just
cut
a
it
lot of
all.
money at the end of the day. I mean, you know, and we were speaking about myself for a second, and we told you this, kind sir, Rick, and you understand. We were doing really well to start off for this year. Yeah, we're just growing vegetables, whatever. But we were doing good. And then, you know, this happened. We knew it was coming, but we had no idea of the plan. And then to hear that it's delayed, we heard it personally from Ricky Reed. And I just want to know what's going on, or if we have an answer, and so that I can relay it back to my boys, and we can, that's it. That's all I'm here for.
Okay, so, a couple things. I talked with Frank Bovee, who's part of that farm, and we didn't discuss the calling and the grain. As far as their crops, you know, as long as we can get this thing in 3 weeks or so, they're good with that, okay? He said they were fine. That isn't an issue. A couple things. I talked with Mr. Reed today. I went down and met with him. We discussed the fact that we should be able to, once we get the cement poured in the bottom and the culvert set, hopefully you backfill it enough to get one lane, local traffic only, probably barricades on either side, one lane, so people can get through. That is the hope. So, you know, he'll speak more to the time frame. You know, we're doing what we can do. Now I'll agree, because I got the West Creek Road letter. I got a phone call a week ago. The person thought it was the culvert up my way by Giddings, it was being taken out. And I was like, no. So the letter, I don't know, you know, I guess it came from you, Brenda. The letter was certainly confusing because West Creek goes 2 different directions. So that confused people. The paving part probably should have given it away, but I don't think anybody read that far. They got to the culvert being taken out and they went ballistic. So anyway, that maybe could have been done a little differently. You know, again, it sounds like, you know, the Reeds are willing to work with us and get one lane through there so people can go. I guess for you guys, I mean, and I'm not telling you how to run your business, but if you got customers coming from Pittsford, can't you get the stuff on the other side? I'm sure the Reeds would let you. They've got a little footpath there.
We already have, Sir David. We have it on the other side at Hards.
Okay,
We have one
so-
there. We have one at Ladderbush's old stand too.
Okay, so I'm just thinking there, I realize it's an inconvenience and it sucks and all that, but I'm just
And all that, but,
throwing out ways that you can
yeah.
do your stuff, you know?
No, I know that.
Okay, all right. Yep. So, anyway, that's all I've got.
Well, just because I'm one of those people, you guys gotta know what's coming next. All of us pay our property taxes, we pay the same as everybody else, and now we do not have the equivalent amount of services. So I think that the farmers on West Creek Road should at least be reimbursed some of what they're losing on this deal, because they don't have the same services as everybody else. Just saying. And you guys should probably be pretty thankful there's only 9 families that are into the road, because if it was a urine road, there'd be a house.
Well, there'd be less if they took that culvert out, because there'd be Gettysburg myself. There'd only be like 5 or 6.
Only 5 or 6 a year. So I just think that that's a point that needs to be made, that everybody needs to be treated equitably, whether they have businesses or not. And I really, really do not feel that that has been the case in this particular situation.
I mean, in defense of the board, we talked about just paving the road. And then we know that culvert was gonna have to be replaced sometime, and then we're still, at some point in time, it was gonna have to be replaced. So we had this culvert, and it made sense to just do it all at once, so when we pave it, you get a nice new road. It's done, and timing, unfortunately, there is no good time. I mean, can't do it in the winter. So it's gotta be done during the summer, and so we're either interfering with planting season, first cut, second cut.
Whatever.
Somewhere along the way, we're gonna interfere. But like I say, I think the Reeds are willing to work to get that as fast as they
So
can,
are
get
we-
a
so
lane
are we
through
saying
there.
that we definitely are gonna be able to have access back and forth across the road in 3 weeks?
We're hoping.
I'm not gonna guarantee anything.
You never know what's
We're,
gonna happen.
you know, like you say, we ran into flaws of no base in there, so we had to go down another foot. Put material in, road fabric that wasn't, expected. We got a good base in there. And then we've realized that the layout
Who's wrong?
wasn't gonna lay out right, so we had to go back in and redig, and I'm not gonna try to put the engineer under the bus, but I feel a lot of this is all because of him,
Well,
you know?
that's understandable.
So where are we at this moment?
It's all prepped, we're starting to set footings tomorrow morning.
You are gonna set footings?
We're gonna
Yeah, I
start
looked at
setting
it
footings
yesterday.
tomorrow morning.
Okay.
We had to go in today and dig it because we just got the okay yesterday, like
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I said, it's 1 o'clock, we're not gonna go over there, let's just start tomorrow morning. So we went over today and we dug the, shift it and everything, and we're ready to start setting forms tomorrow.
So our best estimate is 3, is that what I'm hearing? But you can't really guarantee.
Well,
that.
there again, we're dealing with, we gotta get a crane. We gotta deal with camp precast. There's a lot, if I had everything, if I had a crane, I had the boxes sitting right there and everything, I could give you a time, because I can look at what my time. But when you're dealing with everybody else, it's like this engineer, when we first started, he was holding up a lot of stuff right from the get-go. He didn't even have benchmarks. When I went and met with him, with her, I said to him, I'm like, where's your benchmarks? He's like, I don't know. So what do you mean you don't know? I said, I gotta have benchmarks.
So in the very beginning of this, when I was hired, the first task that I was given by the board was to put this in the ground. That was on my list. That was my marching orders. Because they had already purchased this culvert and it's been in storage for 18 months. And we've been paying for that storage every month. We have 2 grants that are tied to this particular culvert too from the state. So we have grant money that considerably reduces what we have to pay as a town. And I only have an extension until the end of the year to use it, or they won't extend it to me anymore. And I managed to talk them into doing that. The engineer was already selected. That was something that was done before I even started working here. So I don't know, other than looking at the drawings, when I went out with Rick, he's showing me his perception of the angle that the culvert was gonna go in. I agreed with him. I could have just said, just do it, it's what's on the first drawing, but I didn't wanna do that because I'd rather just do it right the first time. So I did have to stop the work for a couple of days until I got the revised drawings, which I have with me here. And it did get moved 10 degrees, which is equivalent to about 4.5 feet.
So basically, we've had this culvert for 18 months, and it's cost us money for 18 months, and it's only in the last week that anybody's been able to figure out exactly where it goes in the ground.
Initially, it was supposed to go to Fire Hill.
Supposed to be over Hogback.
Supposed to have been over at Hogback.
Got it.
So this had to be
But-
like
Got it.
But what was supposed to be a $300 job,
Yeah.
that was the estimate, was over $1 million.
Right.
And so we, no.
Next it. We don't have $1 million to blow?
No.
We try not to. I mean, we can, if you want your taxes to go up, Kate, we have a lot of
If we
money.
had a smaller police budget, we wouldn't have this problem. I don't even have an AR, damn it.
Duly noted.
I do not own an AR.
Okay, we don't have to play
Duly noted,
stupid. We
Kate.
already knew all this information
Right.
that this kind woman just gave us.
Right.
I mean, that's the information. I mean, and then, is this culvert 4 segments or 5 segments?
It's actually 10.
It's actually 10 segments.
This culvert initially came with 10 pieces.
10 pieces.
Mhm.
How many does it take to get across West Creek Road and put it in there?
9,
9?
yes.
To be at a 22-degree
And
angle?
he may use, you may end up now with
We're
the change.
using them all.
With the change, he's
We're
gonna use
using
all of
them
them.
all now.
Yeah.
This new set of plans is using them all.
Using them all.
Right.
Because
Okay,
you
good.
turned it.
Now I know the answer to that.
Which I brought that to the engineer's
But what I
attention before we even
don't-
broke ground.
But what
You
I,
did?
I did bring
You
it
did bring that to his
up. That lady
Yes,
right
you
there was
did.
standing
I
there.
just want to know the
both
answer.
were talking to the engineer about
I
it that
said to
day.
him, I'm like, you got a piece of precast that is like, that's for, you know, why not put it in and make the road, even if you can make it
And
wider?
use it, and use what you have. what
And
we've
he was like,
already
oh,
paid
no, we don't wanna do that, and it's not, so, I mean,
Well,
I'm all for using what you got. I mean, that's for
for. The
sure.
only thing I'm
I'm
not
willing
sure
to let
of,
this all slide for 21 days from today. If I have to come back to this meeting, you guys better have lawyers, guns, and money, because I will be coming back smoothly.
Let's see, 21, let's see, we meet
I'm
in
all on one
14,
page here.
so 21, so that'll give us,
21 from today,
it
Dave.
should be done by the time,
21 from today, Dave, I'm holding you guys all to your commitment, just so you know.
I didn't commit, so.
Oh,
I didn't commit
side hooker.
Get spineless over there.
Yes, Butch?
Thank you.
So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, something that may relieve some of your anxiety, and your all anxiety, is I've been involved in a lot of these bridges and culverts that have been closed statewide. It's a common occurrence statewide now to close state highways to do this type of work,
Sure.
and we do it quite often. We did one last summer in Sudbury where we closed Route 30, which set up an 18-mile detour for 35 days. They worked 16 hours a day on that project, and they opened the road in 25 days.
It was
So-
just in the paper that Town Line Road's gonna be closed for 30 days.
Yeah,
and
Town Line
we're-
Road's
We-
closed for 30
but-
days.
but-
But here's what I
I mean,
want to
this is
say.
what happened.
There's been several, there's one now in Roxbury going on, it's been, it's going to be closed for 60. Route 100 last year was closed for 90, 100 to Route 4 down Plymouth. It's very common statewide today. The issue statewide is public information. And so what I would suggest to the board is send a note to the people on West Creek Road every week and give you an update of where they are.
That is a great idea.
So
Oh,
there's,
you
so there's
know
no
what
more,
we're
so there's no
watching.
more surprises when,
Well, that's a
when
great
something
idea.
like this happens.
That's a
And
good idea.
whether, yeah, you may not get news, Kate, you may not get the news
might
you
not
want,
like the
but
news,
Oh,
at
I-
least you'll have news.
But you get the
I
news.
tried to, well, I appreciate what's going on everywhere in the rest of the state of Vermont, and
Yeah.
being a seventh generation native, of course, I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, Butch,
Yeah,
I only give a damn about the 9 families on West Creek Road.
That I
And
get.
this select board, and our representative, and this contractor. Everybody else can just go pound sand. It's all about me, goddammit.
I live on one of the dirt roads over on the other side, on the
Right.
backside of where you
I know
live,
you're on
so-
Markowski
so-
Road.
But I'm just saying, information is key here,
Yes,
I
it is.
think.
yeah,
It
it
might
is.
help the board to just send them a note to let you
Absolutely.
know, even if you have to hand deliver. Go around the long way
Yeah.
through Proctor and hand deliver.
And Butch, to note on that, and David, what you said, when you have thousands of dollars of vegetables, just want to know how you got to do it, get rid of it.
oh, no, I fully get it, I get it.
And that's all.
Yeah.
That's all. And a little bit of knowledge is fine. That's it.
Right.
Rick, do you see any trouble with having a crane on time for what you need at this point?
well, like I say, you know, Kevin from Sky Crane, which him and I are friends, he sold his crane to Ireland's. I called him. I've called
Brown's?
Ireland's, Brown's, I've talked to Brown's, and believe it or not, they sold theirs.
Did they?
Yep, he sold theirs. So, you know, the problem that I heard that with Ireland's is that Ireland's and Camp Precast they clash.
Well,
But I
they're
did-
two different cement companies.
So I heard through the grapevine that they won't lift Camp Precast's boxes.
I don't know that Scott Ireland is that petty.
No, it's.
I don't. I'm hearing it right from the guy that sold his crane to Kevin, Kevin from Sky Crane is who told me.
What about Scott Crane
So
Company? Do you know those
what is
guys?
the plan right now?
So the plan right now is I'm trying to get a hold of the guy from Ireland's that we deal with, and I've been trying, and he isn't really, so there's another crane company down in Brattleboro. So we're in a process of maybe, but there again, cranes are getting, they're far out from, to take and try to coordinate. That's the big
Well, that's
thing,
my
is the
concern. That
coordination.
might be our biggest coordination.
That's what I've been saying,
Yeah.
is a coordination, and like you
I've
say.
already, yeah, but I did talk already to the folks that are holding our culvert right now.
Mhm.
So I've already had conversations with him
Yeah,
with a kind of an estimated timeline. And I didn't get the impression from him that they weren't gonna be able to deliver that with a crane.
they don't have a crane though.
They don't have it. Right, no, they don't have it, but I didn't get the impression he was not gonna have that, or that he was gonna have that much difficulty getting one.
So I think we need to make sure on this, between the two of you,
Mm-hmm.
what the plan is on the crane, and that we have one lined up exactly when we need it, so there's no more delay.
Well, see, that's the thing,
Yeah.
and there again, to start out with, we had to go in that, pushed it back another day with the base.
Yeah.
And then now with this being shut down for 2 days because of angling it and all that, I had plans that this week I wanted the footings to be done. And now we're just starting tomorrow to put them in the ground.
It-
And there's a lot of work putting those in because you got a keyway that goes down through for that to set into. That needs to be exact.
Right, yeah.
I mean, they only give you 2 inches on the side, and it needs to be, they both need to be exact levelness on both sides so that it line up, bolt together. It's not just slapping some footing boards in.
Sure,
And
yeah,
then the other thing is
understood.
that these footings, believe it or not, I've done this before, but I've never done one 10 foot wide. These footings are 10 feet wide.
Yeah,
So, I mean, being wide
Yeah.
like that, you gotta make sure that everything it's.
And if you're off a half an inch and 10
Exactly.
feet, it's a lot more than half an inch and
Exactly.
4
That is.
feet.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
why there's not just, like you say, it's tedious. What would've been nice is if the box had a floor in it and just
You
put
just
They
down.
don't
set it.
anymore. They don't anymore.
Yep, and they should.
They don't.
Yeah, well, they'll start starting on the state regs for that. It's a waste of our money. But anyway,
So I guess my question is, you've gotta have a crane, but if those are broken down into.
4 foot
what, 9,
sections.
So they gotta be what, 5-foot sections?
4 foot, I think 4 foot something, I forget now.
Are they that heavy you need a crane?
Well, the problem is reaching out and everything.
Reaching
and-
far, okay,
And you
yeah.
gotta be safe.
Okay, no, I just
You gotta be safe.
thought of a big excavator maybe.
No.
Okay,
Excavators aren't designed for being cranes.
right, but,
no, that's true, they're not.
yeah, okay, well, no, I
You
just,
know? No.
it was a
I-
thought, yep,
No, I wouldn't do that.
okay.
so
No.
that would really be the only potential thing that could back
That's,
us up right now.
that's, like you say, we're, like you say, and there again,
Yeah.
I talked to, Camp Precast, and we did measure out about how far that we'd have to reach, so that we could figure out what size crane. And they said an 80-tonner will possibly do it, but they would prefer a 100-ton crane. 80-ton would, you're getting on the borderline. And they always go to the high with a crane, you always go to the higher number. You know,
I'll come down and stand on the back side if you need it.
I think I'd be better than you.
Yeah, probably. but-
They take that stuff very serious.
Yeah,
I know,
well, no, we wanna be
well,
sharp.
safety,
We wanna be
yeah.
safe and we wanna do it in
You
one
know,
shot.
that's why I say, and see, the problem is 100-ton cranes are hard to
Fine.
Is there anything else besides the crane that could throw a wrench in what, your timing?
No, actually, the
Okay.
hole has been really good. I mean, we
Good.
haven't had to deal with a lot of water. The state guy, he's been really good to
been
work
awesome.
with. He was very happy with what he saw and everything. My wife just told me that I guess he's talking now that he wants to put the same material that we dug out of there back in the box culvert. I kinda question that because that stuff's gonna turn to mud.
That's
Controls.
that's silliness, but that, I think that is state reg, right, Butch?
Double tap phone
Well,
options.
typically you
Out.
use the native material
Shutting
as
down.
much as you can when you backfill the structure. So that's-
Inside it?
Yeah, this is what they lay inside. I saw them do that on 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They had to
Typically
store the
in
dirt
base-
they
in the
dug
base,
out of
They
there.
put it in the bottom, and sometimes they'll put stone in the bottom for the fish.
Ricky,
Can we,
there was a really good crane guy that worked for Scott Ireland for a lot of years that has his own place now. His name is Bill Cassidy, and he's got big cranes. He's up in Reigate.
That's concrete too. I got
Just
4
in
here
case
for
you
you,
need
Rick.
one other guy.
Oh,
And
that's
then
good.
Mike Scott at Scott Crane, who's also not running listed, are really good. And just so you know, Ricky, I do all of Scott Ireland's landscape.
that's what.
I would call them if you want me to.
Yeah.
I can't believe they won't give you a crane. I can't believe it.
Well, that's what I was told
Well,
through
you,
the grapevine.
and knows how to catch up with me. Those are the two guys that you need to call and see if you can catch up with them.
Yeah.
And then if you don't, give me a call. I'll help any way I can.
So I
Except
think-
I'm not bringing you any lunch.
Not very nice.
I'm not.
She doesn't want him taking a lunch break.
Well,
Wants
that's
him to
true.
keep working.
Butch, you said you had 4 others?
Yeah, I got at least 4, maybe 5.
Ricky, you'll have to stop and buy a cucumber.
Actually, I stopped and bought a bunch of them, they were good.
Thank you.
Did you get any of the little round yellow
Just
exotic ones?
before he dug the hole, I was over there.
Oh, I see, the hole. Okay, rub it in.
Oh,
Rub it
your
in.
brain's a wonderful
big
point.
dig.
Jeez.
Ben, I'm leaving. If you guys will excuse me, I have animals to tend to.
Before you leave, do we know the names of all the 9 people that we can keep in contact with, or should we make sure we get the names from Kate before she leaves?
She knows everybody in town. She runs the town for the select board, right?
Do you know?
Yes, she does.
Well, she said to send letters to everybody on.
Yeah, but you don't need to
No,
send
no,
them to the
no.
let's
northwest.
get
We
a
don't
list.
need to send it in
I don't need
I'll
to
get
deal
to-
with that
I'll-
again.
I'll get
Just want to
it.
make sure we're not going to miss anybody.
Right.
Awful great to see you, Mark.
Good to see you too, Kate.
I was loving your Christmas tree project down there.
Yeah?
All right. nice
Let
to
me know
meet
how it
you.
goes.
Okay.
Okay.
See you later.
Don't let those guys in.
All right, well,
Yeah, see. Yeah.
Where are we?
well, we got,
So we'll get those 9 names specified so we get something out.
Well,
I know, I
maybe,
feel like we should have gotten them from her.
you know the
before she
9
left.
people?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Let's
You
get those
I
right
know.
now.
As many as I can.
Can I give you a piece of paper and you can write them down for me?
No loose shoulders cranes, I.
That way, we can,
That way we have.
We
That's-
can
I know.
continue.
I don't want to, I don't want
yeah,
to.
we don't want to hold you guys up.
So,
I'll try the best
Is-
I can, okay?
thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so, well, I guess this is on the agenda, but we already discussed it right during town report, or town manager's report, the Cdbg grant. That was, there wasn't anything else, right, Brenda? That was what you already
Yes.
told, okay.
The reason I had it on the agenda is because I needed you to sign that, but
Yeah, we're
you're not gonna
wait.
sign it yet,
No.
so, yeah.
Okay, and then Newtown town office hours.
I inserted it was like a rough idea because you folks had asked me what it would look like, and I got with Helen, the town clerk, because it's primarily concerning that office, because that's where most people go if they're gonna come early, and so she drafted that.
Yeah. I thought we discussed last meeting ago when this got brought up that we were gonna try to solicit town input.
Yeah, but I just wanted you to have that.
Oh, okay.
This is just because you had asked me you wanted to see what it would look like, and
Okay.
that's kind of like a test, if you will.
Oh, a test,
Like a-
suggestion of
Yeah,
dates?
it's just like a template, something to start from.
How do the employees feel about this?
To my knowledge, they like it.
All right, yeah, well, it's something to take into consideration.
There,
At least something.
I mean, it's to open the town hall earlier at 7 in the morning when people are on their way to work. It worked well in New Gloucester. They were happy. Actually, they wanted more days where we were open at 7 o'clock because they didn't like having to deal with coming at night after they get their kids from daycare or they had children's functions, baseball, whatever. It seemed like more people liked to come early and get their business done.
We could also keep it 5 days though and just shift the scheduling, like, so that there is at least one early day and close early.
I think we got a little to think about here before we do any
Yeah.
kind of changing at
Yep,
all.
absolutely.
We got a lot of other things that are more important.
Yes, we do.
So, like this culvert, so.
All right, well, last thing on the agenda is the, unless, I'm sorry, did you have, you're still looking at, did you want to say anything else about it?
No.
Hey, give me my list back there.
I'm gonna make a paper airplane out of it, come on.
All right, so town website proposals.
Right.
They were beefy. I didn't read them through them, I'm not gonna lie. I only read the top
Yeah.
sheets.
I read them.
Did you? Through the whole thing?
No, but I
Oh.
went through every page, yeah, but I didn't read them all.
It was a lot.
they're
That was our
huge.
whole packet.
They're hugely expensive.
Yeah.
I don't see,
I'm not. I think we could find ways to do it.
I'm $350 a year for
That's
our
what I'm
site,
saying.
and we do all the inputs. I can't see 15,000 or whatever for 5 years.
Yeah.
I think we gotta think a little more about this. And I'm not even sure that we need a government, designer. I think we need to have someone that we can work with, right? We need someone you can trust and that you can talk to and help you at least have
Yep.
access.
Yep.
But I think we need to look at some other options.
I know, these
before
are
we go
really
on this.
expensive.
I can't see that money.
Okay.
So,
For a small town.
yeah.
More local.
So, we'll keep looking.
Yeah, maybe there's a local person here to help, yeah.
Is it?
Did you check it all? Didn't we talk about a person in Rutland that's doing theirs?
Butch
Right,
might know
Butch? Was that
somebody.
you?
I can't remember the name. I didn't talk to
You remember that? We were talking about
I
that
remember
person
it
that
was-
worked with Rutland?
I don't know who that would be.
There's a
What?
web store locally.
I think maybe what we ought to do is get hold of, West Rutland, Proctor, Brandon, a few other towns around us. and
Brandon
see-
uses who we have.
Brandon uses who we have.
Yes.
How come their site looks so much better than ours?
They paid for an upgrade.
I do think if we could find that name of that person, that might be another road to run down, but I don't want to delay that. at all.
Right, so I-
Anyway,
No, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Later.
Well, anybody else have anything? Lisa?
No, look at that.
Because we're done with the agenda. Was there something you had?
She's here for executive session.
Oh,
I'm here for
gotcha.
that, but if I have just a sec, did you all get the letter that Blittersdorf has?
No, I had to read about it in the paper, but I'm guessing
That's
the
what I
letter
was
came to
wondering.
you.
It was
No,
supposedly sent to select boards, but
We
then
didn't get anything. I
public
didn't get
hadn't heard anything about it. And so.
Well, how
that
did you
was-
find out? You didn't get a letter or an email?
What letter?
It was an email from Sam Carlson, the representative for basically the salesperson for for David Blittersdorf for the wind project, and it was in Castleton, but he was reaching out to all of the neighboring towns.
Grandpa's now.
Yeah, that's in the, I told him about Grandpa's.
Yeah, but I'm saying, how did you know if you didn't get a letter?
I just got an email
Yeah, it was in the form of an email. I'm sorry, guys.
When did that come?
today,
Okay.
yesterday. It was this week,
I heard about Monday night.
this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So.
I had to read about it in the paper. I would have liked that email.
Okay.
All right, well then, does anybody else have anything? Oh, you got your list?
Oh, you got it.
Done?
I've done the best I can here. I don't know some last names. But like,
Okay.
You have Kate and Dennis, and I know them, and then.
Well, and probably with the rest of,
Well,
probably I'll fill it in, right?
quick look at the tax map will give you
That's true, yeah.
last
I
names.
got one pen.
And then the Fox Brothers.
Right.
tenant, the tenant
And it's
house
all
that's
on
right across
GIS
from
now.
Road.
Okay.
So that one, I don't
Oh,
really
okay, so we don't have to
know.
be going crazy trying to make sure we're missing people.
Thank you very
Make
much.
sure we're not missing people, I mean.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, have a good
Well, that'll
night.
give you taxpayers,
Thanks.
Alicia. I suppose it wouldn't give you tenants.
Oh, I see, yeah,
But
right,
It will
right.
give you
Yeah. We
can find out.
taxpayers and
Okay.
owners of record.
All right.
Pretty easy to do a search like that. You can even there's a real easy way to do an abutters search. If you're doing a project,
This is
you
part of it.
kind of just click a couple of buttons.
All
and
right.
it generates actually mailing labels for
All right,
an
great.
abutter list. Jeff was pretty happy to have
Cool.
that.
Pretty heavy at butters. Discussion.
Well, if no one else has anything, this will end the open part of our meeting.